Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here, this time reviewing on the Bart Simpson's Treehouse of Horror, issue number 8. Now, as you know, Bart Simpson's Treehouse of Horror was a series of Treehouse of Horror comics that came out yearly, and the issue I'm reviewing is Krustine. It's also how Homer says, "Ooh, better scoot over to the Apu's Quickie Mart. Tomorrow's the last night of his Halloween sale on Duff." And so Bart decides to pull a prank, putting in a hornet's nest, which ends up Homer crashing down and ending up with his car getting hit with acid. So after this, Homer says that his car had been taken away by the police in steel drums and that. Now, I know the artwork is supposed to have the little lumps like elbows and knees, but it kind of feels a bit off-putting. So of course Marge decides to kind of do a more of a discount thing for the Halloween costumes. Homer looks at the potential cars, which Marge clearly says,
"Homer, you're supposed to be looking for a reasonable price used car."
And so Homer decides to get one from Krusty, which is more of a clown car, and even manages to hackle Homer in buying it. And even right away you can tell that Krusty's got a secret about this car. So it gets quite late and everyone wants to kind of get out and do trick-or-treating. And so they decide to have Bart, Lisa and Maggie dress up like clowns. But Bart does a more of a costume job, so does Lisa, and Maggie ends up dressed as Charlie Chaplin. And we see Homer driving through and says, "Hey, there's something in the seat that's poking my butt, something fierce. What the devil, the ventriloquist dummy?" And so suddenly Homer ends up turning into one of those old hot rod paintings you would see, saying, "I think therefore I am. Out of my way, lousy pedestrians, woohoo. And I thought I was antisocial." And so Homer raises a rampage through the school, the DMV, and in downtown Springfield. So of course Marge and the others go trick-or-treating with Flanders, Sober Barney, Waylon Smithers, Professor Frank, and even Krusty saying, "Yeah, that's me, kids, but I'm out of candy. The monkey ate it all." And Marge asks, did Homer write another bad check? But it turns out Krusty knows what's going on, and ends up meeting Homer now possessed. And Marge believes that he won't attack them as he loves them, but Krusty knows full well whatever's going on isn't good. So they panically run to the house, and Krusty explains his story. That he bought his car, Krustine, from a used clown car shop, and turns out Krustine was quite protective of Krusty, destroying any competition, and did show a lot of concern for him. And of course, Sideshow Bob ends up kind of causing Krusty to go angry and sort of kills him off, and even other sort of Sideshow characters just quickly got killed off. And even Krusty knew full well that he couldn't really keep her around anymore. So of course Homer punches through saying, "Big Daddy Homer, think is in the house."
"Homer, we had that wall painted just last month."
And so she does try to, get him back to his senses. So Krusty decides to handle the situation, but ends up getting eaten by Krustine, which of course ends up with her spitting him out, which turns out Krusty was quite greasy and sleazy, so obviously it was like her version of junk food. And after this, Homer's reverted back to normal, and Krusty does offer to take the clown car back, which Homer says he's got a better idea, which is showing the clown car killer, saying, "Hey, that car really ate Hitler's limo? Yeah, and heard that she ate up the Batmobile." And so Homer uses it as a quick buck, saying, "Show me the color of your money. Oh, step back, you clowns. Easy, Krustine, honey. Easy." And this is the story. So I would say this issue and story is a little missable, but it's enjoyable. It does feel like an interesting Treehouse horror story done right. I just think the whole elbow lump and knee pad lumps just kind of ruin the story a little bit. But the story feels like a standard mediocre Simpson story. So I think it deserves a thumbs up. Still good and still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.